It's October 20th, 2022. Thanks for watching the Calvary briefing today. In the years that I've been a pastor, one of the joys that I have had is the privilege of talking to people about the work that they do. I have talked to men who have worked in factories and men who have been behind a desk, men who have been driving a vehicle around all day and doing various things. I've talked to women who have been stay-at-home moms, women who have been out in the workplace in a career, women who have been both a worker out in the workplace and a mom. And in many of these lives of real people, I've discovered that there is a discouragement with work. Yes, there is work to do. But compared to the majesty of God and compared to what they perceive other people to be doing at work, their jobs can become mundane, boring, meaningless. Even those who have retired from their job and are now living at home without a paycheck coming in from a company can find that their job now in retirement is meaningless and hard to deal with. I am so grateful that over the last 15 years there have been many books written about the importance of our work and the situation in life in which we find ourselves. The latest book that I would recommend in this area was written by Brian Chappell, and the title is Grace at Work: Redeeming the Grind and Glory of Your Job. Chappell points out in his book that we reflect God in all we do, and so obviously we also reflect God in our work. Because we are created in the image of God, reflecting Him in all we do, we are fulfilling His purposes for our lives, and that means that we take a special perspective into the jobs that we do, whatever that job happens to be. There's an account of Martin Luther, who was walking down a street one day and he came to a couple of men who were bricklayers. And he asked the first one, "What are you doing?" And the man replied, "Well, I'm laying bricks." He went to the next man and he said, "What are you doing?" And the man said, "I'm building a cathedral." There's a sense in which, being made in the image of God, the second man recognized that he was participating in something bigger than just laying bricks. There is a job to do. There are specific skills and mechanics of that job. But there's another sense in which we all must recognize that God has put us in a certain place for the purpose of being His image in that place, reflecting Him in that place, reflecting His image and His purposes in that place. When God called Adam and Eve to do a job, to tend and maintain a garden so that it would produce fruit, there was a flourishing of creation. And creation was to be stewarded. And the maintaining of that creation was to be cultivated. Well, when we who are made in God's image recognize that what we are doing is a fulfilling of God's purposes, it brings meaning to our work. And it makes a bigger difference in our lives as we go into the many jobs that we have. I'm cultivating and making flourish the purposes of God for His people as I work. How can I know that that's my purpose? Because you are made in the image of God. Author Tim Keller once wrote this: Christ is the origin and the destiny of every object you have ever seen, every person you have ever encountered, every idea you've ever contemplated. Without His express, immediate, and personal sustaining this very instant, the objects you see in front of you right now would cease to exist before you could finish this sentence. You would not outlast them. He is the past, the present, and the future of everything and everyone you will ever touch, see, hear, smell, or taste, and of many more than you will know ever existed. Furthermore, God's plan for the whole universe, including you, is to bring it under Christ's rule. You are not just shopping for groceries, as mundane as that may seem. You're building a family. You aren't just mowing a lawn. You are stewarding God's creation. You're not just putting together a piece of equipment. You are furthering the light of God's kingdom in doing that particular job. God owns it all. God is always working, and you are a part of what He is doing right now, whatever that is. So, live in the light of Colossians 3:17. Whatever you do, in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through Him.